and welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Shiv. Hello, if you're coming back then welcome. In today's video I have this makeup look for you right here using the Makeup Obsession Keep It Fresh palette, which looks like this. I shall show you a zoomed in shot for you later on in the video, but this is kind of like the overall theme of the palette, so stay tuned to see how it performs and how I created this makeup look. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias, which is shivonmakeupbiz. The same as my YouTube username, it's the same on everything: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it's all there. So yeah, if you'd like to see how to get this look and how I found the palette, then please carry on watching. Before you do, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I upload a new video. I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's just carry on into the tutorial. So I've already popped a piece of tape on the outer edge of my eye, done my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Chocolate Brow Powder Duo. They're a little bit bolder, like just because they're so dark than usual, but I feel like once I have the rest of my makeup on, I'll kind of get used to it. So I'm just going to smooth out this base, make sure there's no creasing, and let's get started. So this is the palette that I'll be working with today. It's the Keep It Fresh palette from Makeup Obsession, which looks like this on the inside. I'll do a close-up shot for you now. So you get 9 shades, some like greeny, some blue, some minty kind of colours. I think this is really beautiful, and a silver, which I probably won't use. As you know, I'm not into silvers, but I do think it's really pretty, and this shade here in the middle is stunning. You get 1 matte shade in the palette. Now I would have preferred if they put in like a lighter, bluer kind of matte shade, or just a lighter shade to work with, because I will be dipping into a face powder later on to kind of like blur out the edge of this. Otherwise it would have been absolutely perfect, like maybe if they got rid of the silver and then put in like a lighter colour, then that would have been absolutely perfect for me. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the matte shade, which is called Super Chill, which is I would describe it as a teal colour, and I'm going to take it on a Peaches Makeup PC 47 brush, which is a skinny blending brush. Just going to go into the shadow, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to start by kind of patting that into the outer edge. I'm gonna kind of cover most of this section here, I think. We will see. We will see. Just gonna keep pushing that on until I can get it as opaque as possible. That's really pretty already. So I'm just pushing that on. I'm just gonna cover up this whole like outer section here, and then bring it maybe like 2/3 of the way in. Yeah, I think that's enough. So I'm just going to build up on that colour, but so far so good. And I love the fact that even though this mirror is, oh hello, I love the fact that even though this mirror is tiny, the palette is tiny, it still comes with a mirror. I think that's really handy, because this is like a palette I would use for like travel. And they have other colours as well. They have like the purple one, which I've just done a video on, and they have other colours as well. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. A lot of brands are doing these like tiny palettes now. Okay, now that's kind of on there. I'm just going to wiggle my brush a little bit just to make sure that the shadow is nice and smooth. Now, because the palette doesn't have another matte shade, I'm going to have to use like a face powder. So I'm just going to take this powder here. This is the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Pressed Powder in the shade Beige, which is a very light powder. I'm going to use this to set my under eyes later. I'm going to take a Morphe M506 brush, which is a really fluffy blending brush. Oh my god, man down. Okay, we're all good. It didn't break. As I was saying, it's a very fluffy brush. I recommend doing it if you're trying to do like more kind of detailed looks that you can do lots of colours with. So I'm just going into the powder, and I'm going to use this to attempt to kind of like blend this out a little bit. It's not going to be really neat, I know that, but look, it's just adding a little bit of diffusion. That's probably not a word, but I made it up. I made a word. I'm very aware I didn't, if that's a word, but I'm gonna own it. So I'm just going to take the shadow and then just keep blending this mint shade out. Yeah, that's working. It's just kind of blurring the edges a little bit. Just going back into Super Chill, and I'm just going to touch this up slightly just to kind of re-intensify. I always do this when I blend, just so you don't lose like any of the colour impact. I'm holding my brush really weird. It's like a chopstick. What am I doing? Blending that in. And then back to the brush with the face powder. Just a little touch up here. Okay, I think this is kind of as diffused as I can get it, but I'm happy with that. I just really wish they would have put a lighter transition colour in the palette, because otherwise it's pretty much all shimmers, which is pretty, but I tend to prefer to do makeup from one palette. Let me know if you're the same. I just prefer to use one palette in a makeup look. So, okay, so I'm going to take the PLOUISE Mirror brush. I think this is the smallest one that comes with the set. And I'm going to take the shade Touch of Frost from the PLOUISE Bases. This is from the winter collection. And I'm just going to do a little dot on my PLOUISE brush. Is that enough? Yeah, should be enough. And then I'm just going to pop this all across the lid. And I'm not going to be too precise. I'm just using this as like an extra base for the other colours. Just patting that in. And then around the inner corner, I'm just going to start by like feathering it towards the inner corner, if that makes sense. So just in really light kind of motions. Okay, so do you see what I mean? I've just used it as an eyeshadow base. I haven't cut the crease. Like, it's not a kind of harsh straight line like a cut crease would be. It's just kind of there to act as a glue for the shimmer shadows. So for the shadows for the lid, I'm actually going to start with the shade Bite Me. Bite Me, which is this beautiful light green colour right here, if you can see that. And I'm going to take it on a BH Cosmetics number 9 brush, which is a small shader brush. I'm going to start off without wetting my brush. I've been doing that recently, just to kind of test the shadows. Okay, I've got a decent amount of product on my brush, which is always a good sign. Yes, that's pretty. Okay, I'm just going to pack that kind of like on the inner third of the eye. Kind of up to where you put that base, and then just like pat it in. I'm not being precise at all. Oh, I really like this shade. It reminds me of Tinkerbell. Yeah, like if Tinkerbell was to sparkle, this would be her vibe. It's pretty. So I'm just packing that on the inner corner. So on the other side of the shader brush, I'm going to take the shade, I don't know where I have to go, but I'm doing it. I'm going to take the shade Original, which is this one right here, which is like a shimmery greeny teal colour, I think. And I'm going to take this one right here and pop it in the middle of the lid, just on the other side of the brush. That's pretty. How many times can I say that's pretty in one video? Kind of overlapping that with the light green minty shade, and then I'm just leaving that outer edge blank for the time being. Like it, we like it. So for the last shade for the lid, I'm going to take the shade Mint Like, which is this one right here. It just took me a while to just process that shade name for some reason, but it is this colour here. It is a deep teal shimmer. That would be the best way I would think to describe it. So I'm taking it on a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, which is just slightly bigger, but any flat shader brush will do. And the pans are like super tiny, so I'm just like being careful while I pick up the colour. Oh, it also has like a little bit of like gold shimmer in it, which is nice. And I'm just packing that on the outer kind of section of this look. Definitely has more like gold reflex than I thought it would on the lid. I thought it would be a little bit darker, but that's fine. That is really pretty though. That would have looked nice all over the lid. And again, just kind of smoothing it into the other shade. It's actually a really nice eye look. It's very simple to like do. I'm just taking a little bit more of Super Chill, the matte shade. I'm just going to tickle the outer edge. I'm not going crazy because I still need to do the other eye, but I'm just kind of blending that a little bit. Okay, I'm actually really happy with that. Nice and simple, but super pretty. I'm now going to highlight the inner corner, and I'm taking Fresh Face with this is really pretty colour in the middle. It looks like it has a little bit of like green in it, or I don't know if that's a reflection of the palette, but it's just a kind of shimmery colour, and I'm going to pop that in the inner corner. So moving away from the shadow for the time being, I'm going to take the Revolution Renaissance liner in the shade Blue, and I'm going to draw a wing with the help of my tape. So I'm just going to start by going along the lash line. I've said this in a few videos recently. It would have been about a month ago now, I think, that I curled my lashes. I did the LVL at home, and it made it really difficult to do winged liner and put lashes on and everything like that. And now I've realised that the curl has kind of faded, but where I've been using lash serums, my eyelashes are so long that it's actually difficult to like do things. I know it sounds like, oh my god, my lashes are too long, but it just makes it tough to do things, so bear with. Okay, I'm gonna peel off the tape. Hopefully we have a nice sharp edge. I'm not doing that recently. Like not sticking it down enough. That is fine, no one panic. I'm just going to take my trusty cotton bud and micellar water, and I'm just going to clean up the edge of this. Perfect. Then for the waterline, I'm going to pop on a blue, and I'm taking the Revolution Blue Kohl liner. Oh, love it. Why do I love that sound so much? I don't know, I just love it. Okay, I'm just gonna pop that through the waterline and try and like work it into the lashes a little bit, just so there's not like a gap. Taking it on the upper lash line. I'm just going to take a little bit of my PLOUISE base in Rumor number 2, which is what I use to prime the lids, and I'm just popping a little bit on my kind of synthetic concealer brush that I used to cut, I didn't cut the crease, what am I talking about, to prime the lids earlier. And I'm just going to use this to prime the lower lash line, so just a few dots is probably too much to be honest. I'm just going to kind of pack that in, just so when we put the shadow on it kind of lasts longer, doesn't crease as much, actually stands out. I remember like I just kind of forgot to prime my lower lash line. I would always wonder why it doesn't look as intense as I want it to. This is why. I'm not priming. And then I'm just going to take Super Chill, which is the matte shade in the palette, the kind of teal colour. Same brush, and I'm just going to press this into the lower lash line. Now I'm going to pop on a tiny bit of mascara. This is the Revolution Blowout High Volume Mascara. I will do the lower lashes later. So now I'm going to try and put some lashes on. I'm going to take the Eyelure Glamorize Lash Vault. I'm taking the style number 2, which are just kind of super fluffy lashes. I have worn these before and I actually really like them. I'll be honest, they don't look like much just looking at them, but they look like eyelash extensions when they're on your eyes. They're so stunning and they're super cheap. Everything will be linked down below as per usual. This is not an ad or anything, but I'm going to go ahead and try and pop these on to the other eye. I'll be right back to finish the face. Okay, I am back. I've got my lashes on. Now it's time for primer. I'm going to take the Revolution Pro Goddess Glow Primer. I actually love this. I don't know if you can tell, but I have used probably just under half of it. I actually really like this primer. It's really glowy. So I'm going to pop that all over the skin. For foundation, I'm going to take the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Foundation SPF 30 in the shade F8 and my Spicy Choco Kush Blend Sponge. I'm just going to bounce this into the skin. Then I'm going to cream contour with the Makeup Obsession DO2 cream base stick thingy. This, just apply a little amount, it goes a long way. I'm going to pop some under my cheekbones and then around the forehead. I'm not going to do the nose or under the chin. And I'm just going to blend that in with my ZOEVA 110 Face Shape Brush. For concealer, I'm going to take the XX Revolution CX 5.5 concealer. Just pop it in the usual places, so on the chin, under the eyes and forehead, down the nose, and then blend it in. I do love this concealer, but then you change the pump because it's so hard to get out and then you end up splattering concealer everywhere. Now I'm going to set this into place with a Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder in the shade Peach Glow and this big fluffy brush from EYELINER. I'm just going to press this into the skin. Then for bronzer, I'm going to skip contour. I haven't really been into like contouring, got fluff on my nose, contouring recently. So I'm going to take the Mega Bronzer in the shade Warm. The Revolution bronzers I think are a little bit too pigmented, just from my experience, so just go in with a very light hand. But I do like this bronzer, just remember to use a light hand with it. So I'm going to go in with this and bronze up my face. This is an old Real Techniques blush brush. Then we're going to pop some blush on. This is the Revolution Blusher Reloaded Rhubarb and Custard blush, which looks like this. I'm just going to pop it on with my favourite blush brush, which is the Sigma Spotlight Duster brush. I'm just going to pop this onto my cheeks. Now I am going to take a little bit of the Revolution Pro powder from earlier in the shade Beige, and I'm just going to use that to go underneath my eyes. I'm taking it on a Morphe M448 brush, and I'm just going to pop that under the eyes to brighten. Then I'm going to set all of this into place using the I Heart Revolution Pineapple Brightening Makeup Fixing Spray. Okay, now for my favourite part, which is highlight. I'm going to take the Revolution Highlighter Reloaded in the shade Golden Light, and I am just going to spritz my highlighting brush, which is from EYELINER. There will be linked down below. I'm just going to spray the brush with a little bit of the setting spray. I want a really intense highlight. Then I'm just going to go in and load this up on my cheeks and my nose. Yeah. Guess I'm gonna dance alone tonight. I'm gonna miss your body. You know I can never get it right. Now I'm going to pop some mascara on my lower lashes. Step into the light. If I don't get you, shawty, you bring out the sweetness of my life. Then we've got a new product. I'm taking the PLOUISE Oh So Browtiful Mochaccino Brow Gel. I'm just going to pop this through the brows. I've got no idea how good this is going to be. Ooh. It's a good colour. Okay, I do like that brow gel. It's filled them in, like brushed the hairs into place nicely, and I think it's a perfect shade for my brows. Now we get to finish with the lips. I'm going to take the Revolution lip liner in the shade Chauffeur. Average. Okay, and to finish off the lip, I'm taking the Revolution Satin Kiss lipstick in the shade White Wedding, which looks like this. And I actually think this will go really nicely with the look, so I'm going to pop this on. So this is the finished look. I'm just going to go off camera, fix my hair and come back. Okay, so I zoomed you guys out, and this is the overall finished makeup look using the Keep It Fresh palette from Makeup Obsession, which is like the minty blue kind of theme right here, and this is what I came up with. I absolutely love it. I think it's so pretty, and I do love it with like the pinkier lip. I just feel like blue and pink works really nicely together. Of course, if you wanted to pair like a brown, that would also work really well. But yeah, I really liked this look, and I think this palette is definitely a winner in my books. All the shades that I used were amazing. Again, I probably won't use a silver shade, just silvers just aren't really my thing, but all the other shades are gorgeous. I didn't use this one here called Fresh AF or Spearmint, which is like the other light blue in the palette, so I could use that next time. But the shade Bite Me, this light green on the inner corner, love that. So yeah, definitely recommend this palette. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I've also done a video using the purple palette, which I think is called, okay, I've forgotten what it's called, but I've done a look using the purple Makeup Obsession palette, so I'll link that down in the description box for you below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. It means the absolute world. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, well done, and I shall see you next time. Bye! Beverly Hills Chocolate Brown Brow Perfecting Foundation in the shade SPF That's not the shade, is it?